Today's episode is sponsored to you by A&H Provisions. Meat and hot dogs that are so good, even Goyim understand how amazing they are. It's the next level of kosher food, and the website is kosherdogs.net. Get yours, enjoy them, A&H Provisions. Welcome to Andy's Modi. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. We have to pretend we hear the song because we don't really hear the song when we're in the studio. Hi, everybody. Hi.
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 Hi, everybody listening. We are back in the studio taping the podcast. And after so much has happened.
A lot
has happened. We've traveled. We've shot a comedy. We shot my comedy special, Know Your Audience. My first comedy special, the first comedy special that Leo produced and directed. And there's a very good opportunity to mention our sponsor because my father came in full A&H regalia. You saw him?
Yes.
My dad came in with the A&H sweatshirt, the hat, the t-shirt. My father loves any merch.
He loves merch.
Loves it. He has we always buy him like the nicest Armani shirts, and he doesn't get. He just, as long as this was free, I golf with it. It's great. There was he's so A&H Provisions. Best hot dogs in the world, best provisions in the world, and people always are sending us their. We just used your promo code. I saw your product at this in this store, and it reminded me of your podcast. And they always say how delicious the food is.
Glatt Kosher Deli Meats.
Glatt Kosher Deli Meats, and the website is you have it
www.kosherdogs.net. For 2.3% off?
No, 30% off your first order
throwback.
when you use MODI as your promo code. And
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, A&H.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, A&H.
Where do we start? I mean, so much has happened.
Why don't we start with the special? And also, I would like to say that I met your parents for the first time.
Oh, really?
And your mom.
That's always a treat.
Yeah, your mom said, did I tell you what your mom said?
No, what'd she say?
She said, I said, hi, it's so nice to meet you. Amperia actually was introduced to her, and she goes, oh, wow, you look much better in person.
Well,
She watches the podcast.
she does much about. Actually, I think I just recently used that line on somebody also.
I'm not sure.
That's not very nice.
I
It's
don't
a
know.
compliment.
Well,
You look better than you do on. It's a compliment.
but how bad do you look?
It's like
now?
saying, hey, you're not photogenic.
It's saying that you look great in person.
Look,
She didn't say I looked
as
great.
Michael Rappaport says,
She didn't say I look great. No, she didn't. Yes. Yeah.
we were at Gramercy.
We were at Gramercy. We filmed the special. This was unbelievable. At first, I was nervous about the place because I had never performed there. My first time walking in there was to tape a special.
No way.
Yeah, we
I
had never
swear,
even
never
did a
been there.
walkthrough of the space.
We literally let God take
Let go and let God.
let go and let God. An 800-pound gorilla produced it, and a big fat yishikoyach to them. They are amazing. It was so smooth and so flawless, and they were great, and they made it so easy, and they set Leo up to direct it. They showed him the vacation village. Video village where all the cameras are set up and you can see them, and Leo was a rock star. Leo, look at the pictures we have. Leo is so in control of all of it.
That's for being very generous. 800-pound gorilla really ran a tight ship, and I will say I was expecting a much more like sort of chaotic, frenetic energy, but everyone was calm, cool, and collected, and it made me be calm, cool, and collected.
Yes.
Like I've been like backstage at like Fashion Week and kind of those types of events where everyone's running around on like a headset and like a clipboard and like a chicken with its head cut off.
You love that.
And I love that a little bit, but I was kind of anticipating that energy, but it didn't happen. And when it didn't happen, I wasn't upset about it. I was like, okay, this is what it is. And everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone knows their place. Ali, the stage manager who you've worked with on other comedy shows, was there. It was kind of like we got to see some other Limor, the photographer. It was kind of a nice
A lot of people came back
industry
into it was
crossover episode.
Crossover, like a lot of I don't know. It was a lot of great stuff. Like first of all, Baruch Hashem, thank God, my parents are alive and well and in their minds and can hear and see and got to see the special. And then Gershie Moskowitz.
Oh, you brought plants.
I didn't bring plants. I invited Gershie Moskowitz. He's a full chassid guy.
That's
and
the
he's
guy
the guy
who is in
that
the
set
front
me
row?
up to get the Modi Day with Bill de Blasio.
Okay.
I never had a great way to thank him.
Oh.
But I brought him in. He sat up front. The camera hit him. He was rolling, and he was with I think his brother, who's even a better laugher, and their daughter and a wife, and they were
saw them
having a blast and having a great time. And it really was. And Limor, the photographer, came in, and I've known her for
Decades.
Limor Garfinkel.
Yep, who did a picture of me once that won some awards, and she's amazing, and she was great and fun. Just fun to see a familiar face.
Yeah.
Elon Altman opened for you, did a great job.
Elon Altman is just solid, period. He's just a solid comedian.
He really is.
The theater doesn't have seats that are built in up front. So it's those folding chairs, which I have begun to love. I'm a folding chair lover now.
Why? How?
Because the people have to stay awake. When you're sitting in some like stripper lounge chair and you're half asleep and you just put your head back. I remember we talked about it with the London show. They can you have a headrest that going right to sleep.
Right.
They had to sit up and they had to be engaged because you have to pull your core together.
I was there. I was engaged. I was at rapt attention.
And you know who else was there that was amazing? Dr. Ibrahim.
I think I was sitting next to him.
Yes, this is our friend, Dr. Homam Ibrahim.
Young guy?
Young. I don't know. Everything now to me is young. But he's the guy that saved my father's life without opening his chest. He's at NYU Langone, Dr. Homam Ibrahim, the biggest shout out to him because he's amazing. And he's, if you ever get a diagnosis that you need open heart, anything, check in with him first. He was there smiling, laughing, having the best time. And as big of a fan I am of his, afterwards he DMs me and invites me to hear him play violin at Carnegie Hall.
No.
We're like, what?
Yeah, he's one of those people where you're like, how are you a surgeon and like a classically trained violinist and a nice person? And it's like,
we have to bring him on the podcast and he wants to come, but he's too busy saving lives.
Right, yeah, he's a little
busy.
He's
not like a real person.
He's like a real
person. He's like a real member of society.
Who has to wake up at 12 to get to the podcast.
I know, I'd spoken to him a while ago because he does want to come on. And I was like, oh, and I threw him out a few dates and he's like, I'm in surgery.
Yeah, you're like, you get a pass
surgery.
Want to meet
people
for a
should
coffee?
know about him. People should know about him. You know, one time I brought my father and my mother for a checkup with him, and we catch him in the elevator going down while we were going up, and he turns around and goes, I'll go up with you and and he goes, I can't tell you the case I had today, no one else would have been able to do what I did.
Wow.
It was amazing. He's like, he knows and it's such a gift. And yeah, I guess as a surgeon, you have to have that in you.
Well, you have to be a little bit insane to be a surgein to do that kind of. But anyway, back to the special.
Yeah, you're getting sidetracked on doctors. Like I'm sitting here like I love you, and I love Dr. Ibrahim, bless him, but like
wow.
Okay, so what? So first of all, I can't believe you guys never walked into the theater before. That's kind of shocking.
Shocking.
It's kind of off-brand for me.
Off-brand.
And but
we usually go months before and take videos and do the promos, but this was we said this is it. 800-pound gorilla has shot here before. They know
what they're doing. Okay, so what were some other really exciting highlights for you?
For that?
For you.
Of the special?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of breakfast.
Of breakfast.
I don't think the day of we were walking around the house and I was just screaming, is this happening?
No, we were.
Are we going?
In shock. I was in, when we walked in, first of all, you walk in and you see like 30 people working. And so they're all working because we produced the special, because Leo produced the special.
Beautiful. Whose idea was the stage decor, if you will?
I gave like the initial creative direction, which was old school New York, red classic velvet curtain, Edison showbiz bulbs. pinstripe suit. Like we're going for that sort of like Sinatra-esque feel. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
And when we say Sinatra at the Concord Hotel.
Yeah.
You know, in the Catskills.
But those letters that you saw on stage that spelled out Modi, those were a hot mess when we got there. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. They were on some sort of like metal. It looked like a bed frame from IKEA.
Well, say what they were. Say what they were.
So we had these like 3-foot tall letters with beautiful Edison bulbs in them that spelled out Modi, and they were in the middle of the stage. And when we walked in, it was like someone took like a metal bed frame from IKEA and flipped it on its side, and then like put the letters in there, and it was like this horrible beaten up thing. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but this is not going to work. And he was like, oh, we're going to put black electrical tape on it and it'll dull the chips and the dings. And that, I'm like, no.
And then, yeah.
But the John Campbell, the cinematographer, was like, I got it. And he put them all up on C-stands, which is the stands you use for the lighting.
But he was calm.
And
I didn't want to focus on this is a hot mess because I would just get them out of here.
Yeah,
right.
We were ready to strike
No,
them.
they
Strike
looked
'em.
amazing. Whatever it was, it looked perfect.
At first we were like, oh, this is a hot mess. And then they tried to cover the frame. So then it looked like, it's like the letters were on a black box, which like I'm going to do magic and pull somebody out of there.
You said it. Yeah.
And there's nothing I hate more than magic. So I was just ready. I was ready to be like, I want my sound check. I want to see how I look on the camera. And this thing doesn't work. Get these letters out of here. I've been doing my act without my name behind me for all these years. I can do it one more night.
Okay, so the letters worked out. And then what else was really exciting for you? Like,
to be honest with you, it was surreal. I felt completely outside my own headspace.
Yeah, you felt a little. I gave you a lot of space that night. We were very separate physically in the venue.
Yeah, the green room was a lot. I had to find a corner somewhere else.
were people coming in nonstop?
People like, but just which they should. But I should have had my own room.
Yeah.
I was in there with Elon, and he's doing the small talk with the makeup woman, and it's a lot of small talk.
And the makeup woman's walking around blotting.
Polite stuff. Oh, so yes, and you eat, and we've been to Queens, that kind of stuff, which I don't want to hear.
No.
Also, they had these bulbs that were like the green room was barely lit. So now I'm going to fall asleep in there. And then, but whatever, I found my corner, I found my spot. It was great. And just to watch Leo running the whole thing is such a
That's
amazing.
a very generous term. 800-pound gorilla had everything very buttoned up. Gav Bellino was there, and he was integral, and he caught some things that I didn't catch in your that we corrected. You caught something as well.
I did catch something. I was very pleased about that.
When we say catch something, is like while I'm doing my act, they know the bits so well that they were able to say you missed this word here, you missed this word there.
What's it called at the end when we redid those lines? What are those called?
Pickups.
So everybody should know that you tape 2 shows.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes people tape 2 or 3 so that in case something gets missed,
you take your best parts.
Right, you take the best.
Yes, and I probably feeling my gut feeling from the front. I think the beginning of the second show was better. I think certain bits of the first show were better than the second show. And now we just, I'm in the same suit. They measured the water cup that was on the side to be the same size so that it's continuity. So, we...
And I texted one of you this after, but everybody wanted to get up to give you a standing ovation, but they were told not to get out of their seats.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it was
they were I could see they wanted to get up and give a standing ovation, but the first show, but they were warned, do not get up.
No matter what.
No matter what. So then
by the way, people still were getting up during the show to like pee and stuff. I was so pissed.
One guy, I almost yelled at him.
And then Stan's girlfriend, Brianna, also got up and she had to pee in the middle, but it was fine. But at the end, when I came back to do the pickups, I go, thank you, you anti-Semites, for not giving me a standing ovation. But the second show, they did it, so it was.
So now we go into a few months of edits, I guess, and then we have to shop it around.
Wait, slow down. And you produced and you directed this.
Yes.
I don't know if I would say directed.
So I would say yes, because you directed me and you directed the cameras and how you wanted everything.
I'll take it. I mean, I'll take the IMDb
and you
credit.
Know the material, and you told me, and we've throughout this whole thing, I've been working on this hour, and you've been through it, and you've seen what works and doesn't work, and you've been directing it.
Okay.
And you came on and you...
Hi, everyone. My name is Leo. I'm a director.
But why?
That's why I wear these sunglasses indoors.
A producer is more. You keep in mind, they're saying the production is 800-pound gorilla, but none of this would have happened if Leo didn't engage in all of the situation to make this happen.
I know. I don't know why you're being like so
I know.
like, modest
the modesty
about
thing is not cute
I'm
anymore.
not trying to be modest, but I also don't like when people like, overinflate things that they've done. I just answered some emails and made some time.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Anyway, what else is there to talk about? I mean,
So what was your experience, though? It must have been so exciting to see.
I feel like it's something we've been talking about for an extremely long time. It was a very long labor process to the birth of the filming night.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been our creative baby for a while. And I just wanted to be there while you were having contractions and do breathing exercises because I feel like that's the best metaphor for it. I could see in your head you were like a little bit like just not nervous, but you're like trying to process everything. Because I think when you walked into the theater and you saw everyone working, that it clicked for you that it was a much bigger production than you thought it was going to be. I think you thought it was going to be like 4 schmucks with a camera and like that's it, but it was like a full blown.
It was a full blown with everybody, and they were so great.
It looked like there were like 25.
I could see the cameramen laughing behind the cameras, which was great.
That's great.
That's a good feeling.
You know, what was really fun for me is to see like all of these people who I know that you're really close to, like Dina and Gav, and they were just like glowing with pride for you.
Dina saw the show. You know, when we first started doing the show and figuring out this hour, Leo took a theater near Great Neck. Was that theater?
Port
Washington. This little theater we took. We sold
I forgot about that.
3/4 of the show. And I was experimenting with going on as first as the Hasidic character Yoli. I was my own opening
got that
act.
out of your system.
That got that out of my system. That does not need to happen. Got that out of Leo's system. And Dina was sitting there, and I think she had a little bit of an edible that night because she was laughing so hard. But she saw the whole thing happening, and then she came to the London shows, and she saw like the show come together.
Yeah.
And we had 25 guests per show. So we had friends, family, cousins, and then the rest of the people. It was
great. It was
full Mashiach energy.
But now I feel like that feeling in college where like after you turn in like a final or like a term paper where you're like, like I don't even know what my grade is on it or like how but it's done now. So you could just kind of like take a breath.
I know it's going to be good.
I know it's going to be good too, but we just haven't even seen any of the footage yet.
You're going to be editing, yes?
We'll be involved.
We'll be involved. We'll be very involved.
My friend who I was with is not Jewish, is married to an Israeli, and she was crying, like actual like tears, crying. It was hilarious. Like,
there were some people losing it. Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Or Shkoyach, as you say. Really.
And it was funny because my birthday was 2 days after. And this is the best birthday gift anybody could have given me.
Yeah, I told Modi, I was like, look, I have nothing up my sleeve for your birthday. I've been trying to get through this special taping.
No, but that's all we need. That was it. It was just, and my birthday, we went to Casa Cipriani.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
This is a good story.
We went to Casa Cipriani. Those of you who don't know, it's a club. It's a membership club right by the Staten Island Ferry. And it's a part of Cipriani, so the food is the Cipriani food, which just means bronzino for all Orthodox Jews, and delicious food, and it's also it's a beautiful place. It's stunning.
It's the one right by the Bull, right? On Wall Street?
No. That's Cipriani.
Okay.
That's a restaurant. It's one of the Cipriani restaurants. This is Casa Cipriani. It's a club.
And a hotel, yeah.
Okay.
And a gym, and it's stunning. It's it's out of a movie. And my birthday was that Saturday, April 29th.
Keep in mind, it's the Saturday before the Met Gala,
right?
Monday.
So,
yeah.
So, even though I'm not a member, my friend Arthur Luxembourg, who is a member, set up everything with the maitre d' that we have a table. He was gonna come, but then he couldn't come. But he set it all up, and we got there. And I've been there a handful of times, where it's a little busy, or it's just me, Arthur, and Leo hanging out alone. The place is empty. It was packed
to the
like
gills.
You can't imagine. To get from the elevator to the maitre d' we couldn't. We
We had
almost
to like
couldn't-
step sideways. Like,
yeah. And
felt like we were at a rave
we
in
didn't
Brooklyn.
realize it was the Met Gala the week before the Met Gala, and we get to inside the restaurant, and we had to wait an hour, which was fine. It was a part of the evening. We were there till 1:00 anyway. So the maitre d', who's Carlo, comes over to me. He knows me. He says to me, "I can't sit you right now because there's one famous comedian. I can't put two inside." I go, "Who's the other one?" Chris Rock is sitting there with
Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek and her husband.
Francois Arnault who's one of like the top 5 richest people in the world.
Who owns Louis?
Louis,
LVMH.
Hermes,
Yeah.
everything.
And he was B-list at that table.
Yes. And the
Yeah.
other table that was next to them was who?
Yeah, so it was our table, and then to our left was a table with Selma Hayek, her husband Francois Arnault, or however you say his name, Chris Rock. They were later joined by Leonardo DiCaprio, who walked in like baseball hat, mask, sunglasses, and then slowly like undressed, and we realized who it was. And then next to them was Florence Pugh and Cara Delevingne.
Wow.
Who I had no idea.
And then,
Right, well, I was just gonna
Modi
say,
did not know who they
Well,
were.
he never has any idea. Last time we were at Cipriani's, we were also sitting next to him, and you and I were like, "Oh my God, and Modi had no idea."
Oh, Antonov?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
but-
I don't know, but
he still
they-
has.
No, but it was funny because the Casa Cipriani is densely populated by the membership skews highly Syrian Jews.
Yes.
And so Modi was a celeb sighting, and people were coming up to the table to take selfies. And like Leonardo DiCaprio's in the background of the selfie, but they didn't like give a crap. They wanted a picture with Modi.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I was like, celebrity.
Isaac,
Celebrity's all about context.
Isaac Ash, right?
A few people, yeah.
Comes over, takes a picture with me. Tell me whatever story about some cameo I did, and like, let me just get a picture with you. Which you're not allowed to take pictures in there, but he takes a picture, and I see the picture just to make sure it's not gnarly, like not doing that, and you just see Leonardo DiCaprio in the background. It's so, and he didn't care. He didn't care. It's so funny.
Where is that picture?
Oh my God. And then Florence Pugh and Cara Delevingne were sitting, and I guess obviously not eating because they had to be at the Met Gala in 48 hours. And I guess they ordered a bunch of stuff that they decided they didn't want. So this giant plate, we're there with my friend Evan and our friend Lucas and Dina. And this plate, they lean over. Cara Delevingne, the model, leans over with a plate full of prosciutto and goes, "We ordered this, but we don't want it. Does anyone here want it?" And Modi goes, "You picked the one table here that's kosher." And my friend Evan goes, "I'll take it." And
whole
he leans
thing.
over and takes this plate of prosciutto. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, you just took prosciutto from Cara
someone who I had no
Delevingne.
idea who the hell it was.
You don't know who Cara Delevingne is? She's like the hottest model
Yeah,
in the world.
She's a big model.
Good.
And Florence Pugh is a big deal too.
Good. He goes good.
No, I'm so happy for them. I wish them success and stuff at everything they do, but I have no idea who they are.
Yeah, they're
I'm
good.
sure if you show me whatever they were in, I'll know, but I don't know who they are.
Chris Rock looked very nice. He was
It
in
was
a
very
tuxedo,
sweet.
and he said something to you that's kind of ricochet in my brain for a while to figure out.
I walked over to him. I didn't walk over. We were literally the table
we sat next to
us.
him. Yeah.
So before I turned to him. He sees me. He's not sure where he knows me from. And I go, "Modi from the cell." "Modi, yes." And then he goes, "I didn't recognize you on land."
Yeah, that's
Which was a great line.
one of those phrases that's going to bounce around in my skull.
I didn't
like, where
recognize
can
you
I
on
use
land.
this?
That's
he's
great.
From
Yeah.
from when we're out to sea in the comedy
Yeah.
ocean. Yeah,
That's
The comedy
great.
ocean.
the comedy ocean. So he was very sweet because he's really only seen me at the comedy cellar.
Yeah.
So
We were at the Comedy Cellar last night for friend of the show, Mateo Lane's taping. We've done a lot of specials,
A lot of
tapings,
specials
a lot of
happening.
cameras, a lot of lights, a lot
we were
of
at Mateo Lane's comedy special yesterday.
at the Village
Hysterical.
at the Village Underground.
Brilliant.
It was really. He's just so great.
He's so talented.
He's so talented. First of all, he looks amazing.
hmm
He had his hair done.
Mhm.
You know, he redid his hair and opened up with that.
Yeah.
And he's genius. And he did so many things that were so good. He talked about gaming. Is that what you
Yeah,
call it?
Yeah,
Not-
video
is it
games.
gaming?
Gaming.
Video
games.
gaming. I thought there was another word. I thought gaming is when you're hunting.
Depends on how you're
Okay,
saying
he's video gaming, and he was going into this whole bit, which I know nothing about gaming. I've never in my life set up even Atari. 'Cause, but he walked us through the entire thing, and someone
Yeah.
who's never actually played a video
Yeah.
game, I felt like I was in the know of what's happening, and he did it so brilliantly. And then I told him after the taping that that was one of my favorite parts of the show. He says that's the one thing Netflix said that's why they don't want his special.
Yeah, because he joked also in the show that he was gonna title this "Netflix Said No," like Matteo Lane : Netflix said no, but so it was like a joke, I guess, that they didn't want it. But anyway, it's great material. He's so funny. His act outs are so good.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, you should go back a little bit. You'll see there's an episode titled Matteo Lane.
But he's gonna be on once this thing
he'll come back on
YouTube, and for sure. And it was brilliant. And he looks great. He's built up a little bit. Some funny lines with his outfit. He says, those of you who know Matteo Lane, he's like a gay guy that's ripped and always in like a tight t-shirt. And he said, last night he was in this like, I don't think you could say wife beater, but what's it called?
We call it a ribbed tank now.
A ribbed tank top and a white shirt on top of that. And he said, I look like Desi Arnaz, which half the room didn't get. Leo didn't get.
I didn't get. I'm sorry.
And he said, I'm usually dressed like I work behind a deli counter, which is very funny.
Yeah.
Very, very funny.
So Modi, how was Kara
Steer gave it again. Year 2, the Yort site, the anniversary of the death of Reb Shayla. We went back there with Rabbi Gross, Dina's father, the great-grandson of this Rebbe, and we dedicated a Sefer Torah. We finished, his son, Rafi, dedicated Sefer Torah to him, and we did the last letters there. And we went to the grave and prayed, and of course they made room for him, and they brought a chair for him, and it was unbelievable.
Beautiful.
I didn't think we could top last year, but we topped it again. You could really feel the miracles, that there's something about being at that grave site that is so amazing.
Beautiful. And where were you, Leo, while Modi was at the holy grave site of Reb Shayla?
Also having a spiritual experience, but just different, I was at Printworks in London.
What's Printworks?
Printworks is, or I should say was, an iconic venue in London, a giant dance club that has been a fixture in the music scene for, I think, a very long time, and is now closing. And so
it's the one from Batman, but give them a visual.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned on the podcast before. If you've seen Batman, the one with Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz, there's a giant club scene in there. That's a real place, and it's Printworks. That's where they filmed that scene. And so Honey Dijon, one of our favorite DJs, was closing out the venue. So I went there with our friend Michael Hoffman, who was having a birthday. And we all convened in London and went to that party while you were praying for us.
Praying for your souls.
Yeah.
No, your souls were getting their own.
It is a spiritual experience sometimes,
experience.
Those things. If it's done well, I think, music like that can connect people.
Michael's the one who I bumped into in the airport, right?
In the airport?
In the airport in Florida?
Yes.
And he was sitting behind me at the special.
Yes.
Yes. He's so cute.
He's the sweetest. We also, we didn't mention, but we haven't been here since the Passover. Even though it's like super late to talk about Passover.
What happened during Passover?
I don't know. Just we had these.
We were in 2 shows
that's
in
right.
3 shows, 4 shows.
We had 2 shows in Cancun. Then we flew to Fort Lauderdale, did a show in Fort Lauderdale, and then we went to Colorado and did a show in Vail. And how was it? First
of all, the first program was 2,000 people in the program.
Oh my God.
The hotel was like one of those like White Lotus looking hotels, 2,000 people. And he was doing a new, Morgenstein he was doing this new thing where he had 16 different restaurants rather than one big
Who's
dining
Morgenstein?
hall. A caterer. And what was the name of the program?
You've got to be kidding me. Guys, we have to talk about the programs because they operate under like 6 different LLCs, and then the deposit comes from like another company, and then you get there and it's actually titled like a different thing.
First of all, there's the name of the place.
First of all, what are you guys talking about?
We're talking about
The
Passover
Passover programs,
which we talked about with Dina, if you remember.
Yeah, but
no, we talked about Yeshiva Week. Never mind.
Right.
Well,
no, Passover programs is during the holiday of Passover, Jews, instead of cleaning their house, go to a hotel and stay there, and the food is kosher for Passover, and there's different types of programs. But all the programs have like 17 different names, because you have the name of the caterer, right? Like it would be Ram or Morgenstein or whatever, or Glotville, whatever the name of the caterer. Then you have the name of the place,
the
like
hotel.
Paradiso.
Yeah.
Paradiso is the name of the place. And the program's name was, we didn't even know.
VIP Kosher Tours.
Which we never even heard. So when we got off the plane, we see VIP Kosher Tour. We didn't know that was the program because we never saw that name. And then when they pay you, it's something like Anshe Emuna of
tax deductible
of Delaware. It's, anyway,
so what, they bring in like entertainment?
Yeah, so
time.
everyone's parked at this hotel for a week and they're like, what are they going to do? Stare at each other? So they bring in singers and magicians and comedians.
But like top of the line, Ishai Ribo, Lior Zushard, all these top of the line entertainers are not just the Jewish world and the Israel world and me. And then they bring a few rabbis to give a class here and there that no one goes to. And but they can say it's on the agenda. We have rabbi this and this every day teaching Daf Yomi.
It is really bizarre to witness, like, especially as a non-Jew.
Well, excuse me, also as a Jew.
I've gone several times now to these programs, and it's like, I don't think people know about this world. Like, this is a world within a world.
Yeah, you guys are talking about this like this is like normal things that like I have zero clue what you're talking about. Also, how is the food?
It was easy. It was it's
kosher.
Passover food, and it's hard to prepare for lots of people. And it was fine. Everybody seemed very happy. Lots of choices and all kinds of. The first program was 2,000 people. The theater was like performing in Madison Square Garden. It was 1,200 people.
I think it was like a little too big.
It was big, but he had monitors. The sound was good. The kids up front were out of control.
There are kids?
Yeah, that's something we need to work on for 2024.
That kid situation was, there's just girls sitting up front, screaming. I had to go, sweetheart, do you understand you're screaming right now in the middle of my show?
Kids? How old are these people?
These girls were like 13, 14, 15. They were like but she was so excited. And she's like, oh my God, Stacey, that's exactly like you. Like screaming in the middle of the show. And I addressed it and the girl like dove under her chair. The second show was in another beautiful place, but the show was outdoors, which I hate.
Yeah.
But the show was great and the people were good and it was Diamond Tours, Diamond Club.
Whatever.
Joel is the guy that runs it. Amazing. People were happy as hell, having a great time. They had a beautiful beach, and then we flew to Fort Lauderdale to a hotel that's not so ritzy and glamorous, but it's across the highway from the beach. And we got there. I've never seen rain like this in Florida in my life. Usually when it rains, it's like 10 minutes and then done. This was just nonstop torrential rains, and we didn't realize we were there pre-flood.
Right.
Yeah, we made it out of the airport the day before it closed.
And then the next morning we woke up, 7 a.m. was the flight. We got out and then the airport closed. And then we saw pictures of where the beach in front of our hotel was. That was the way showing like how bad the situation was. It came home and then we flew for this other Passover program that extended to the weekend, which is Passover on the Mountain in Vail, which is amazing. And it's a smaller group, so the food is much, much better because they're preparing only for 150 people. And it was just fun, but it was a lot. It was nonstop.
Yeah, Passover is a tough week, and I'm currently fielding inquiries for Passover 2024 if anyone's listening. So
wow,
you might want to get those.
Yeah, we've got a few inquiries, but we're not signing anything until we get the prices we want, and that's it.
Wow, that sounds like a lot. You guys were jetting around.
No, and we have a lot of jetting coming up. We have Vancouver, Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, and more shows are coming. Oh, also, if you're listening to this, the show in Berlin, September 12th is live. I think they're going to be adding a second show because the first show is like sold out or about to sell out. Berlin, Frankfurt. You're going to be in Frankfurt, Germany on
Deutschland.
November 7th. So we're going to be bopping back and forth.
Making the ha-has in the Deutschland.
Yeah, that will be on sale too.
I just added a show in Magoobies.
In Baltimore, we're adding a second show at Magoobies. We're adding a late show.
Open.
When is that?
August 24th.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Okay.
And then also by the time this is airing, tickets for Town Hall on December 21st in New York will be on sale.
And hopefully almost all sold out.
Yeah. But the Seattle show, we added a matinee show, and there's still tickets there.
Okay,
But
good.
Most of
That's the only
Saban is sold out.
Yes.
San Francisco is sold out.
Ugh.
The first show in Seattle is sold out.
Yeah.
We
Also,
added the
Paris.
matinee.
Didn't you sell out Paris?
We're gonna add another show.
7 times?
Yeah, we're
Third
probably going to
show
add a
sold out.
4th show in Paris.
Yes.
Which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Those shows are in English, by the way.
Oh, yes.
Everyone who-
Reference the shows in Paris. The
Bonjour.
shows are in English because we've been getting people leaving voice messages on Instagram. We are hoping to get more ticket for the. I'm hoping you learn English before the show is what I'm hoping. Because the show is in English. I don't know. People think I speak French. The shows are in English, and that's what it is. That's the option: English, Hebrew, or Yiddish. But there's no French. There's absolutely no French.
Wait, and something else major happened.
What?
Hello?
What?
Merch?
Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
Would you like to model, Modi?
I'm gonna model this hat right
For those
now,
of you
right now.
listening, Modi has a hat on.
Me, M-E, Mashiach energy. It starts with me. You are what can cause Mashiach energy. And one of the easiest ways to create Mashiach energy is to buy tickets to a comedy club and invite your friends. Be the friend who brings the friends to the comedy show. And that's basically it. No?
Are we done?
How long have we been?
No. We have a few more minutes.
38 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry.
But it's good. You turn that on very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
So you can get the hat on modilive.com. Go to merch. The hats are great. I approve
There's
the
also
hats.
mugs.
Yes.
And I had to toggle some settings, but the mugs at first were not shipping internationally. And so I had to cancel some orders, but now they are shipping internationally.
The hats are great.
Bear with me, I'm teaching myself how to use.
Just by the way, places where hats have gone to is Chile, Uruguay, Sweden, Australia,
The Upper West Side.
other, America all over, yeah, but a lot of Crown Heights, obviously, but like other,
Yeah, what did Gav call it? The only black hat you need?
it's the only black
That's
hat you really
great.
need.
So funny. He's so good.
He's so
clever.
So
He was in
good.
Kerostia with us, by the way.
I know. I saw
he
that.
he was rock star. He was. We had a great time.
One thing that I would like to say also is that I had a meeting with Modi for something that we're working on while you were away somewhere, and I almost starved to death.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where were you when we had that?
Was I in London?
You were. I think you were. in
Maybe that
London.
was it.
Oh
yeah.
God, I leave for 2 seconds and
We can't function.
parrot. Like,
No, I was on an Adderall and
He
Ozempic.
gave me a can of cat
listen,
food.
for those of you listening, if you leave Modi unattended, he just won't eat.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's something that we've had to work on a little bit because you see that I get hangry and
Yeah.
my blood sugar gets too low. So I'm the one who kind of has to raise the flag of like, it's time to eat something. And so if I'm not there, obviously, and
But
now
how good was the salad I made you?
Yeah, first of all, we were working like straight, like I'm not kidding, for like 6 hours.
5.5 hours.
Like
straight.
it was
Yeah,
not
so you
a
need
joke.
brain food, you need a snack.
And I was like, I'm starving. And he was so sweet. He was like, do you want this can of cat food?
No, it's not cat. It was tuna fish. It's very good tuna fish, by the way. It wasn't a cheap tuna fish. It's like a $5 little can.
No, when I met Modi, he had a bottle of Pellegrino and a lemon in the fridge.
That's it.
And,
He literally gave-
That was for guests. That was for guests. But I made you a nice salad.
No,
I made
but
a dressing.
we've worked on that together. You take a bag of salad, a
Yeah.
thing of tuna, some
But I
olive
made her
oil,
the
some
dressing
the
too. I
dressing,
put
and
the olive oil
That's
and
an easy meal.
The other stuff.
balsamic
Balsamic
vinegar.
vinegar and za'atar. Oh, I
we taught
killed
Modi a
it. I
recipe.
killed it. That's
We-
it. That's my recipe.
He had like cooked like that.
Yeah, that's called a struggle meal.
What's hilarious is that Guy always makes fun of me that I never feed people. Like Guy's the you. Like he's always
Oh
feeding
no, I don't
people.
feed people. I wouldn't go. Guy is
You
like
do feed
actually, he's like
people.
a cook. He's like
No,
he knows
guy's
how to
a
cook.
food guy.
He's
Right,
like a
but-
food guy.
but
I'm
he's-
like sustenance, basic
No,
necessity.
you make shakes. You make sure everybody has drinks and food. And Guy said that you could walk into, if you come to see me, like you'll starve to death.
Well, obviously our house is the same.
By the way, he
without-
had a birthday. A guy is Periel's husband. He had his 50th Kanai Nahara, and it was in an Israeli restaurant
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
so
the food
loud.
was good.
It was loud.
It was loud. I had them turn it down.
I know that.
Listen,
helps.
he didn't want to listen to me. I had all sorts of input and we had a big fight. And he was like, it's my birthday. And I was like, okay. So that's what it was.
Periel bought him a necklace just like mine.
Which actually, not a joke.
It looks exactly like mine.
The exact same necklace.
And then after the birthday, which was on Sunday, we met on Monday, and Periel's wearing it. She's like, I knew you were going to be wearing that. But he's so sweet. The restaurant was so delicious. It's our second time eating with you there.
It's good.
It was a little loud, but we met such nice people. What an eclectic little group of people you had there.
They're his people. Most of them are his people. It was very, very sweet. Ari came for a little while.
Yeah, Ari looked so cute. He was wearing a little blazer, a little necklace.
Bling bling. He had some bling bling. Yeah.
It was really, it was very sweet. And
where do you see Ari in 5 years? Options like a band.
Right.
Options.
I mean,
on his
so
way to Harvard. Options. Because he looks like a unique kid.
He is a unique kid. He's very funny and creative. And honestly, Danny Cohen wrote, who's a comedian friend of ours, wrote a screenplay, and he needed somebody to play. We did a reading of it, and somebody needed to read young Danny, and it was Ari's 9.5. It was a lot, and Ari did it, and he loved it. Like, it was really like a lot of
maybe some acting classes in the future.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. He definitely's got that personality, though.
Absolutely, yeah.
Je ne sais quoi.
And beautiful. And he's beautiful, so that helps all the tut. Yeah.
I say he's my most spectacular production yet.
Oh, 5 stars. Critics are raving.
Yeah. We saw the John Mulaney special.
Oh, me too. I just watched it.
Baby J.
I'm just a huge fan of him in general, but this was definitely a special.
Something I thought was interesting was that we just watched his special, and then we went to Mateo's taping. And both of them incorporated like doing dramatic readings of things that like, so for example, John Mulaney at the end reads this interview that he gave to GQ magazine while he was very high on cocaine.
Right.
And he like, is making fun of himself of how crazy he sounds. And then in Mateo's special, he read a asinine comment that someone left on one of his Instagram posts.
Right.
And I just think it's funny. I think it's interesting how like comedians are like sort of embedding this like, not like a multimedia experience, but like we also live online now. So like that's creeping into people's material.
Yeah. Biggest fear I have in life is to have to read something out loud in front of people. So I promise you, in none of my shows will I be pulling out a Megillah and reading it. But they both listen. Jeff Ross was doing a reading of poems years ago.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It was old. He used to pull out of his pockets all kinds of napkins and pretend like it was and then read these poems. It was a very.
I like it.
I loved it.
I like it.
Well, that's why, like, when we watch, all these TV shows or like Emily in Paris, where they put on the screen the social media or the text messages, like it's embedded in the visuals of the show now. And it's like social media and online becomes like this third character
100%,
interwoven into the story. Like it's kind of interesting. It's a little dark.
Emily in Paris, her Instagram account becomes a character on the show.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. Because it's how we digest everything that it's.
But what's really interesting is that you are a little bit immune to all of this, which is really like.
What do you mean?
Because Leo does most of it, and you're like whatever with it.
How dare you? Leo does most. Leo does all of it, and Leo does most of it.
No, sometimes you'll put in a post.
But by the way,
the best performing posts are the ones where you go rogue and just post something.
Right. And by the way, I see Leo answers whatever people ask, but he leaves it there for me to see it. So then I see afterwards.
No, I know you see it, but I feel like you have this little bit of a gift where you're one of the few people who I know you're not like this.
Tainted.
It's not like in your head. That's unique.
Very unique. I can't sit in front of that. Once a day, I sit once, twice, 3 times a day. I'll sit there and go through everything.
And you'll do whatever.
And I always answer. Don't I write back nice things?
No, you write back nice. I try to balance it because like I run your Instagram and stuff like that. And on one hand, like like when you have a big night, like after the taping, and you have like this inbox full of DMs of people being like, it was so great. Like I brought my friends, I had such a good time. Like I leave all those unread for you because I think it's important for you to like keep a temperature check on your audience. And I don't want to like take that experience away from you, but I also want to like, I'm also a little bit of a gatekeeper to like, the crazies and like.
Do you write back to everyone?
Not to everyone.
Almost everyone.
Not to everyone. A lot of people. But if you wrote back to everyone, it would be a full-time job.
Not everybody, but people tell like a heart-wrenching story or something.
No, not like that.
We give it to them.
Yeah.
We give it to them. Yeah, it's insane.
But sometimes you have to be careful because if you, even like an innocuous message, once you respond to it, they see it as a open door to like a conversation now, and that can be a little sticky. And like you don't want to be rude.
They know you because they're in your social media.
Yeah, and you don't want to be rude, and you're appreciative of like, you know, people who follow you and enjoy your stuff. But like, I also don't have time to like talk to people I don't know
for hours on
like
end.
online.
But it's also a very great place for us to gauge where I should be doing shows.
That's the most.
A lot of hey, when you come to Detroit, and you're sick a few Detroits, a few Atlantas, all these places that we're going to be going to because we felt that's how we knew London and Paris,
right?
Because we just felt it on the DMs, and so it's a great way to gauge everything.
It's a great thing. Okay.
ModiLive.com for all upcoming shows. We are working on 2024 already, if you can believe that. So there's going to be a lot of shows domestically and internationally. So make sure you're on the mailing list.
Absolutely. Thank you all for listening, and be the friend who brings the friends to the comedy show, which that's how you create Mashiach energy. And be in touch. Let us know what you think. And thank you again to A&H Provisions. What's the give the website again?
www.kosherdogs.net.
Amen. See you all soon.